Today is Tuesday, July 16th. What to know about former President Trump's newly announced running mate, including what first made him famous, why he says he criticized Trump in the past, and how supporters hope he'll now give Trump a boost. Also, the former president made his first public appearance since he survived an assassination attempt, and he got a surprise legal victory, too. We'll explain. Plus, what the Fed is now saying about inflation and the next rate cut. A discovery on the moon that could be a place for humans to stay long-term. And the 10th annual Amazon Prime Day has begun. Those stories and even more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Former President Trump has announced his running mate, and it is Senator JD Vance of Ohio. Trump made the announcement on Truth Social during the opening day of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. And later at the convention, Trump made his first public appearance since surviving an attempted assassination over the weekend. The GOP delegates cheered as Trump entered the arena with a bandage over his right ear where he was injured in the shooting. Trump smiled and waved, then joined his newly announced VP pick to listen to the night's speeches before he'll make his own later this week. While several GOP leaders took the stage, all eyes are now on JD Vance. He's a senator, former Marine, and former venture capitalist who first became famous for his best-selling book, Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis. It was published in 2016 and was later made into a Netflix film. It depicts Vance's upbringing and family history of poverty and addiction and offers his take on the white working class. Over the last few years, Vance actually transformed from being a sharp critic of the former president, calling Trump an idiot ahead of the 2016 presidential election, to becoming now one of Trump's most loyal allies. While critics see this change as opportunism, Vance has said it's genuine, that he realized his opposition was rooted in style rather than substance. And in his first interview since becoming Trump's VP pick, he told Fox News he bought the media's lies, but then saw the results Trump brought the country and changed his mind. Now, analysts expect Vance will help Trump appeal to the key Midwest swing states. Ohio's governor even called Vance the future of the party. If Trump is elected, Vance would be one of the youngest vice presidents in history. He turns 40 next month with just 2 years of elected experience. Democrats are criticizing the choice, though, not only pointing out Vance's own criticism of Trump in the past, but also warning of his policies today, saying he's a direct threat to Americans' rights, citing his anti-abortion positions as an example. President Biden called Vance a clone of Trump on the issues. In fact, since Vance closely aligns with Trump, some analysts say he'll energize Trump's loyal base, but might be less effective with independents and moderate Republicans. Either way, Republicans have now formally nominated Trump and Vance as their party's candidates for president and vice president. The Republican National Convention continues today, with Vance expected to address the GOP convention tomorrow, and then it's Trump's turn to make a speech on Thursday. By the way, in a primetime interview with NBC News last night, President Biden sternly repeated that he is not going to step aside. He also defended calling Trump a threat to democracy, saying that threat is real, although he acknowledged it was a mistake to talk about putting him back in a bullseye, saying he meant we needed to focus in on his policies. Biden is set to receive the official 2024 presidential nomination from fellow Democrats for a second term in a virtual vote later this month, ahead of the Democratic National Convention set for August. There's been a surprise twist in the classified documents case against former President Trump. It's been thrown out. This is, of course, a major legal victory for the former president. The federal judge overseeing the case ruled that the special counsel who filed the indictment, Jack Smith, was given his job in a way that violates the Constitution. The judge said officials like Smith typically must be confirmed by the Senate unless Congress has said otherwise. Remember, Smith was appointed by the Attorney General, and he ended up charging Trump with 40 felony counts, accusing him of willfully keeping classified material, including sensitive national security information, after he left the White House, and then repeatedly obstructed the government's efforts to recover it. Trump welcomed this latest ruling, saying the dismissal of this case is the first step in uniting the nation after the horrific events on Saturday, and that all the cases against him, that he called witch hunts, should be thrown out next. But not everyone agrees with the decision. Already, Judge Aileen Cannon, who was appointed by Trump, has come under scrutiny for how she's handled the case. Critics have argued she intentionally slowed down the proceedings. And now they say this latest ruling goes against previous court decisions reaching back to the Watergate era. A spokesman for Jack Smith said the special counsel will appeal the decision, and there's a chance it could eventually reach the Supreme Court. For the first time, scientists examining the moon have found a cave. Lunar caves have apparently been a mystery for over 50 years, but now scientists have proven at least one exists. And that matters because it could one day house future astronauts and act as a lunar base. It could offer shelter from the harsh environment and support long-term human exploration of the moon. The underground cave is said to be at least 130 feet deep, and scientists say there may be hundreds more caves like it. All right, we have more news still coming up, but first, this episode is sponsored by Lumi. We've been reporting that many Americans are dealing with record-breaking heat right now. But even when it's not as intense as it has been lately, the summer weather can still leave us feeling sticky and smelly. So for whenever you actually want to go outside and get out and about, Lumi's whole body deodorant can help you stay fresh and confident all summer long. It's honestly my go-to daily deodorant in my bathroom right now. And no wonder. It's been clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Unlike certain traditional deodorants that try to mask odor with fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it even starts. You could grab their original whole-body deodorant, like I use, or check out their new sweat control option. Regardless, Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid-stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code, Newsworthy. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code Newsworthy for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code Newsworthy at LumiDeodorant.com. Okay, now back to the news. The head of the Federal Reserve says he's increasingly confident inflation will hit the government's goal of just 2%. That's down from around 3% now. Adding that the Fed will not necessarily wait until the inflation gets to that 2% mark before cutting interest rates. Now that said, Fed Chair Jerome Powell made it clear he's not making any promises on the timing. Powell's statements built confidence, though, that rates will fall soon, since several key measures have shown inflation cooling for several months at this point. And most economists expect the Fed to cut rates at its September meeting, though ultimately, it's not guaranteed. The Fed meets at the end of July and then again in September, so stay tuned. All right, one of the biggest shopping events of the year has begun. It is officially Amazon Prime Day today and tomorrow. This year marks the 10th annual Prime Day. Amazon says it has millions of discounts on items across 35 product categories. Experts expect shoppers to spend about $14 billion over 2 days. That's up more than 10% since last year's event. Some of the increase is expected to come from travel deals, including big discounts on certain cruises. You do have to have a Prime membership to take part, though Amazon offers a 30-day free trial if you don't want to pay for the full year. And of course, it isn't just Amazon offering deals this time of year anymore. For example, Best Buy is having its Black Friday and July sale right now as well, and Target and Walmart offered big discounts last week. While all these deals may sound enticing, a quick reminder that personal finance experts urge a bit of caution while online shopping. For one thing, some of the so-called deals might not actually offer significant discounts on items compared to the original prices, so you might want to check that. Customers may also succumb to a false sense of urgency created by those limited time offers. Personal finance experts recommend making a list of the items you plan to buy rather than shopping impulsively. It's a sign that the Summer Olympics are mere days away. The Olympic torch arrived in Paris, France, the host city for the 2024 Games. Around 10,000 people have carried the torch across France since it arrived in a southern port city a couple of months ago. Garbage collectors, former lawmakers, athletes, and pop stars made up the ranks of the torchbearers. One of the more popular carriers was a member of the K-pop group BTS. World Cup winner and French soccer icon Thierry Henry was also one of the torchbearers through the French capital. Joyful crowds lined up along the route the last couple of days. The torch leaves Paris today to continue its journey in northern France and through the Paris region before heading back to the French capital in time for the opening ceremony. The Summer Games kick off July 26. It's officially All-Star break for Major League Baseball, roughly marking the halfway point of the season. One All-Star event that fans love took place last night. The Home Run Derby crowned baseball's best slugger. 8 players competed to see who could launch the most home runs over 3 rounds. In the end, LA Dodgers outfielder Teoscar Hernandez hit 49 homers, the total he needed to be crowned Home Run Derby king. He became the first Dodger to accomplish the feat in what was his first career Derby appearance. And then tonight, the All-Star game itself will go down. The National League will try to build on last year's success when it put an end to a 9-year American League winning streak. The game is happening at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. You can watch the Midsummer Classic on Fox at 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, that's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Trivia Tuesday, when we ask a different trivia question every week. But first, a quick break to thank our sponsor, ZocDoc. Being an adult is great in a lot of ways. We have more wisdom, more control over our time and choices, the list goes on, right? But let's be honest, adulting is not always fun. Think taxes and making all those doctor's appointments for yourself and your family. Thankfully, ZocDoc makes the last one easier. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more. I like to check ZocDoc whenever I'm looking for a new type of doctor to make sure I'm considering all of my options. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/newsworthy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. Okay, now back to Trivia Tuesday. Today's trivia question is, what year was the first Barbie doll released? You can play along with us in our weekly roundup email that comes out every Friday. As for last week's trivia question, who is the one woman who's received a Medal of Honor? The answer is Dr. Mary E. Walker. The Medal of Honor is the United States' highest award for military valor in action. And that's right, it's only gone to one woman ever. Dr. Mary E. Walker received it back in 1865. She's known as helping to change the face of medicine during the Civil War. It started after she graduated from Syracuse Medical College in 1855 as only the second female medical doctor in American history. At the outbreak of the Civil War, Dr. Walker wanted to join the Army as a surgeon, but wasn't allowed to because she was a woman. So she chose to volunteer for the Union Army. Confederate troops captured her in 1864, and she was held prisoner for about 4 months. She was then freed in exchange for a Confederate surgeon. When the war ended, President Andrew Johnson awarded her the Medal of Honor. Though the story doesn't end there. In 1917, Walker's medal was rescinded because she was technically never a commissioned member of the Army. Well, Walker refused to return the medal and wore it until her death. Decades later, President Jimmy Carter restored the honor in her name. And just last month, the U.S. Mint released a quarter featuring Dr. Walker. She's one of 5 women being honored by the 2024 American Women Quarters Program for her vast achievements. Well, thank you so much for listening, and thank you to all of our Newsworthy insiders for your support of the show. We'll be back tomorrow with more news you need to know. Until then, have a great day.